Hi, I'm Jaya,
And I'm Venk.
and this is the Reality episode 39.
39. Episode 39.
39!
39 episodes. By the way, have you been watching Ultimate Housewives Railroad Road Rules Challenge?
I haven't started it yet. I plan to this week.
What is it, Peacock? It's Peacock or something? Yeah.
I think we'll start covering it.
I mean, I think it's Ramona's. It's Ramona.
I know, Ramona. It's her last song before hopefully they replace her on the New York Housewives because they need to.
They're not even taping the New York Housewives.
Yep, I know.
Like, things are, I mean, and we don't know about Andy Cohen's future. Things are getting a little bit dicey over in Bravo Liberty.
They are a changing.
Time's up.
Time's up. Bravo.
Anyway, please remember, you like us, you love us, so please click that like button, smash that subscribe button, and click the notification bell so you can be notified when our next video arrives to you.
Because besides 39, the next episode is 40 episodes.
We haven't been canceled yet.
No,
and
not
we've been
yet.
Trying to be canceled, but
yes, please send us hate emails. Cancel us.
I've had one suspicious hate email come through, and some of it was almost unbearably inappropriate.
Which is why we're not reading it.
I can't read it out loud, but
we think we know who sent it.
Your husband did.
Yes.
Your husband did and said some pretty salacious things. I was hoping he was talking to you.
But if you want to send us a hate email, he better not be talking to me.
At therealityhatef@gmail.com. That's REALITYHATEF@gmail.com. So we're covering 2
episodes of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. We're not covering anything else. We're just going to talk about Salt Lake City. There's a lot that has happened in these 2 episodes. So we decided we're just going to put them together and talk about it and give you our very factual opinions of the show.
Our real 100% opinions.
That's right.
And they're true facts.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well researched.
Recap.
So the episode before, I'm sure we know you've all watched. My favorite part of the top of the episode was Jen with she says in the last episode, I'm so tired of trusting people and being screwed over. Don't you find that so funny considering a lot of people that trusted her and she was screwing them over?
I mean, the whole thing.
And then we see at the beginning of the episode, Jen playing basketball with her son and spending some quality time before she gets arrested.
You're the devil.
And then Mary has this big invite because she's going to hold this like Italian luncheon, which Venk mentioned in the last episode, but I hadn't watched it yet. Where she tells everyone they have to wear Italian streetwear. And Mary's the authority on fashion. Just so you know, just so anyone knows, Mary
is not on wigs.
It's the truth. I mean, geez. That was one thing in this latest episode I was watching, and I was so distracted by her hair. Like I was like, it's so bad.
I've never been in a situation in life where I've been exposed to something that would burn my eyes as much as Mary's hair.
Oh my gosh. So basically, I think we should like get through it, but like she invites everyone to this Italian streetwear cooking party. But she doesn't invite Jenny, so we don't see a ton of Jenny in the episode because she doesn't care for Jenny. And And basically, let's just get to the Italian party because
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think
Well, the one thing I want to say though, so just because so she reaches out to Whitney and Whitney doesn't respond. And so she's like got pissed at, like, I feel like Mary gets mad for irrational reasons.
very irrational. So that is one of the big things that does happen in the last episode. I'm just eager to get to the most important,
Yeah,
which is Jen gets arrested. But that is a big thing that happens in the last episode, which is Mary calls Whitney 4 times. It goes to voicemail. She can't talk to her. I mean, assume she's busy. It's not the biggest deal in the world. And because she was so angry that Whitney didn't answer her phone, she sent her a separate invitation. Like, you are spending way too much time in your closet, Mary. Like, grow up.
She has a Xerox machine in her closet.
She what?
She has a Xerox machine in her closet. It's a fully functioning house, probably.
Probably.
I mean, I bet you she still uses a fax machine. She strikes me as that kind of lady.
She doesn't know what's going on.
But can I just say that Whitney showed up looking great?
Whitney showed up looking great, even though she told Whitney to basically show up like a prostitute, essentially. Like, sent her samples of like what she thought Whitney's look was, and I forget what it was, but it was essentially like show up looking like a prostitute.
But I feel it's very Christian of Mary and her church.
It is. Mary, you're such a good person to do something like that to someone else.
You are a righteous woman of God who believes she is God.
That's right. Before we get into that, though, there is one other thing. Heather gets together with her niece who had recently left the Mormon church.
Yeah.
And they drink and they talk about how, like, what was the tipping point for the niece to leave and what was the tipping point for Heather. And basically, the niece said some of the issues I had with the Mormon church were, gay rights, Black priests, etc., like how dated the Mormon church was. And she just couldn't understand how the church could not accept these people, why these rule, like, if you join the Mormon church, you're saved, except, if you're gay or if you're Black. Correct?
Yeah, it's true. I mean, it was in their religion that, like, God made Black people their skin color. God made people their skin color dark because they were bad or something.
I mean, great.
Really just is a creepy.
So we're basically in the outer darkness, which is what they said they go to because they're sinners in the Mormon church. So we too will be in the outer darkness.
I don't believe in cults.
No, I don't either. Mary,
I don't care what anybody says. If your religion is founded upon reading a hat, it's one thing if something's created like thousands of years ago, but honey, this was created like a couple of years before people could fly.
It's like Scientology. I mean, I don't know.
People are gonna get canceled.
Maybe.
I hope so.
I don't care.
We could be future wives.
One last thing before we get into the lunch is Jen Shah has a scene with her first assistant, Stu. And they're snowshoeing, and it's basically them talking about how they're best friends and how much she sacrificed for her fraudulent business with her family. And she's going to prioritize her family and Omar first, but she appreciates that Stuart's sticking with her and, by her side through all the thievery. So it's like this great moment that these two have before.
Are they sleeping with us?
I don't know. It's a weird thing, right? Which we learn in this latest episode, something weird happened because Lisa is having some odd behavior in the
we'll get there.
So anyway, also Jen says she's going to be the best person she can be in jail. In her 30 plus years in jail.
Oh my God.
So
At least, I mean, but if you think about it, you get 3 meals a day.
you get a bed, you get a toilet, you get to shower, you can make some money. At least that's what I've learned in Orange is the New Black. You make some money.
And a girlfriend.
And a girlfriend.
So
anyway, we get to the luncheon. Meredith is uneasy arriving at the luncheon because of the information she's learned about Mary at Lisa Barlow's event.
Lisa Barlow,
the troublemaker, who her hands might be a little dirty with this whole Jen thing, but I don't know.
I just know. Why does everybody think?
I don't understand you guys. I don't understand you guys. And Mary arrives. So Meredith arrives at the event. Mary arrives a few minutes before. She is like correcting the people who have like the coordinator, like, oh, you've set up the table incorrectly. No, the woman didn't set up the table incorrectly. You don't know how to set a proper table, but cool. We'll do it your way, Mary. She drives me crazy. She thinks she's the authority. Well, she thinks she's God. Who are we kidding? She thinks she's God.
She does think she's God.
So anyway, everybody slowly arrives. Everybody's like, oh, look at my outfit. Oh, my outfit's better. My outfit's better. Whitney was supposed to be, here it is, Mafia streetwear.
Oh, Mafia streetwear. That's what it was, Mafia streetwear.
Right. It doesn't look like Mafia streetwear. Like, who knows what Mary was talking about.
Also,
Mary, that's not very godlike or well-behaved of you at all, but
she wanted her to come in looking like one of the Sopranos.
Basically. So we get to the event. Basically, my phone died, so I'm gonna have to like go off of the top of my head. So my notes are gone.
We got this.
Everybody arrives at the event. They sit down, and the first thing that comes up is Lisa Barlow's dinner that she had for Fresh Wolf, one of her many businesses.
Yeah.
Lisa Barlow, are you laundering money through your many businesses? Like
yeah, Fresh Wolf.
And Fresh Wolf. And it comes up, Whitney says, I'm sorry I couldn't attend. Thank you for the invite, but I was busy.
And then Mary goes, don't worry, I've just gotten used to it. I thought that was funny.
Yes, like she wasn't invited. So then Jen brings up the fact that she wasn't invited, and all of these people are kind of like piling on. And she freaks out. Lisa Barlow basically freaks out and is like, I mean, I didn't pick the guest list. My kids picked the guest list. Okay, blame your kids.
Like that, like she's not the only, first of all, if you're a parent, you do not throw your child under the bus unless your child is a murderer.
Right.
and then you throw them under the garden.
But if you're Brian Laundrie's parents, yeah, maybe under the garden, maybe on a trail that's underwater, who knows? Yeah. So basically she's very defensive about it, and it's let go, right? Because we move on to Mary being angry at Whitney, and the whole luncheon becomes this issue with Mary being really rude to Whitney, and Whitney's like, let me explain myself. And Whitney actually feels very close to Mary, which I found funny.
And she's also protected Mary in a lot.
Yes, and she has.
From a lot of gossip about like Whitney. I mean, honestly, the people that I would trust, if I had to say, who do I 100% trust? As much as I love Meredith Marks, I love her. I think she's great.
But I trust Meredith Marks if you're a good friend to her. But yeah. I don't know. We'll get there.
I mean, it's got to be Heather. It's got to be Whitney. Whitney and Heather
are honest, true friends.
Whitney, Heather, good weather, temperature's good. It's great. $25,000. $25,000.
So basically, Mary just attacks Whitney, and not enough people are trying to like weather the storm, but it's like, Mary is just all over the place. Whitney's like, I'm going to remove myself from the situation. I'm leaving. So she gets up to leave. Meredith tries to comfort her. She's like, I know she's really unreasonable. She's this, that, and the other. And eventually Whitney comes back to the table. They finish it. Are they okay? Not really, right?
Who cares? Because we want to get to.
So then we get to the veil party, and basically everybody's getting ready to go to the party. They're meeting at Beauty Lab to take a car. Meredith is going to meet everyone up there. Here comes Jen with like braids galore.
First of all, and you know how I feel about all
I
of
know
it.
you do.
There is an Indian stylist in LA, and anyway, whatever. She talked shit about me once, so I don't give a shit. I used to say, oh my gosh, she is like, I'll to this day, I think she's one of the most talented people. She's very talented, but she once asked me to assist her. And so I did. I think she's really talented. My allergies were terrible. And then she tells people, not just one person, so it was several people. And that's why I'm not selling anybody out. Tells several people that I have bad vibes.
You have the best vibes.
Thank you. Now this girl wore cornrows in her hair. She has a K in her name. I think it stands for two other Ks. I stole that joke. It doesn't even make sense. She's Indian. Clearly, she doesn't want to be white. But honey, girl, if you're out there listening,
don't do it. Don't do what you did.
Don't do what you did. Also, my vibes are good.
Yeah, he's got great vibes.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Anyway, so everybody arrives to get on the bus. Jen Shah's there. And what happens? She gets a phone call.
She's like,
who's on the other line?
Can I do a reenactment?
I think Omar.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Can I do a reenactment?
Yeah. Are you Jen?
Yeah, I'm Jen.
Okay.
Okay. Whitney, could you take my mic off? Okay. Okay. Now ask me.
So what?
I don't. Okay? I think my husband's whole brain ruptured, and but I might come back to the part. I might come back if it only ruptured partially.
Oh my god.
Yeah. If he's only like a vegetable, I'll be there. If he has to die, obviously I have to make arrangements. Okay, bye.
Oh.
But I'm gonna stay like 20 seconds longer.
I mean, but like that's what happened. That is really what happened. And then like she's gone and everyone's confused. And then all of a sudden there's like Homeland Security. Yeah. Everything that the United States has is surrounding this car.
I mean, the worst part about it is you know what? Here's the deal. Fine, she defrauded people, but if the FBI and the CIA and Homeland Security took Kyle Rittenhouse and other white supremacists, that's as seriously, you know.
You wouldn't be worrying about Jen's fraud as much.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay.
No, it's right.
Yeah.
So then we get to the next episode, basically like the women are totally confused. And they at first think it's a prank. Like they're like, this is a terrible prank. Like I cannot believe she would do something like this. This can't be real. And then they're like, no, it's real. They want to make sure she's okay. And then Lisa Barlow is acting crazy. She's calling her lawyers. She's calling her husband. She's nervous. I'm like, were you dipping your finger in this well?
She called several of her attorneys, one after the other. And then she's like, audibly says, I think Meredith might so what was that?
She thinks Meredith might know something. And then she's like crying and nobody really knows what's going on. I love that the whole time Jenny's just like, I mean, I don't know.
Like, I
Like,
don't
I
know
don't
the
know
lady.
what's going on, you know?
Talk about her. I do not know her.
And
I
it was
mean, Jenny's busy hiding her own lies that apparently TikTok cousin
exactly,
talks about.
exactly. So then basically they get the show on the road, they get the okay to go. They're
But
like, she's not coming back.
my favorite part is they take her bag of candy that she had left there.
And they go through it and they're like going through it. They're like, but what if she comes back? They're like, she's not coming back. So then
like,
they're like,
the big,
yeah, exactly. And they're like, but then they're on the road and they're like, what do you think happened? What do you think happened? What do you think happened? And I think for sure Lisa Barlow knows more than she's letting on.
here's what
She's being so weird.
so this is the weird thing. So Whitney really breaks it down. Actually, like all of a sudden,
Whitney did a great job of breaking. I was like, Whitney the snitch? You know,
no,
like
no. Well, I didn't get it. I didn't get that. I got that Whitney knows what she's talking about.
I did too, but I also had the question of, Whitney knows a lot of information.
Sure. Well, she knows a lot of information about how you can get away with fraud.
Right.
Which like that makes sense. Now, what was weird about it is that the way Lisa shifted, because she was talking so much about it, she called the multiple attorneys, and then she was talking about it with everybody in the bus, and then all of a sudden she's like, after Whitney broke it down that you,
I don't think that's right. She was like really dismissive.
she was, but yeah, in her confession, why are people talking about things they don't know about? And I'm like, okay, now
I had that same thought because she was really like, Whitney was like, well, this is what she did. And Jenny's like, wow, like, how does she know this much? And she's like, and actually, I loved that she broke it down, you know, like, because I know it now, but I remember when it first happened, I was like, not exactly clear how she did it, you know?
So we should probably stop doing our businesses.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shakes up. So you could see like Lisa was really and she was like, I don't know if that's it, and I don't know if this is this, and she's like, yeah, you know, when you have multiple businesses, and all I could think of is like Vita, Fresh Wolf, you know, those other businesses that you have, Lisa Barlow. And they were also saying like Whitney was like, I was confused by her lifestyle. She lives this very lavish lifestyle. I know what she does. And I know that the kind of money you make doing that doesn't equal all of the stuff that she has and the life that she leads. And now this all makes perfect sense, you know, because the articles started coming out on the ride, right? And Jenny's like, I don't think we should like be speculating. I think we need to wait to hear what facts, because she has no idea what's going on. And I agreed with Jenny, but also Jenny, she did what she has been accused of. So then they call Meredith and they're like, Meredith, do you know what happened? And Meredith had no idea. She's like at this beautiful house in Vail. And basically Meredith wasn't shocked by it. She was kind of like, well, yeah, I'm not surprised. You guys really never believed that I thought she was shady, and now you're shocked. But like, this comes as no surprise to me. See you soon. The house is great. So then Mary arrives. Mary's like heartbroken, but then Mary's heartbroken, but then she sits down to a dinner and she's like, I never trusted her. I didn't think she was a good person. She doesn't come from a place of good. And everyone's like, what?
But can I tell you something? It was really weird when Mary enters and Meredith is in the bath, and it's like she's like, do people not know how to be good hostesses? I'm like, y'all on a girls trip. Mary has clearly never had friends.
Mary has no friends, and this is why. But also Mary is always correcting everyone and acts as if she's like the perfect host. She is the authority. I mean, like I've said, she is the authority on everything. So nobody ever handles anything correctly. She's insane. I would probably be put in jail for killing her if she were my friend.
She's had 2 dinners where she's made one of the guests upset.
Exactly. She's just not a good person.
And
supposedly she runs a cult, and we'll be finding out more about that next week.
that was basically it.
Well, no.
Oh, sorry.
Because the women do arrive.
Oh,
and it's kind of like this.
yeah.
And I lost my notes. But
So,
basically,
nothing happened.
the women arrive and they're discussing everything. And Meredith, I think Lisa Barlow suspects Meredith is like the snitch.
Yeah, because what comes out in the bus ride is that while they're in transit, everything comes out where they find out her husband is not sick. She has been arrested.
Right.
So they.
Oh, and she was arrested running. They pinned her phone and she was actually running.
And the interesting thing they did in this episode is they did it by hour count. They're like
45, 210.
And I'm like, Bravo's really trying to make sure that like the FBI, Homeland Security,
can like cover it all.
They're like, guys, so we have the timestamps.
I did feel bad for like her family, Jen Shah's family, like when they like came in on her house, her kids outside with his hands up.
That was a very you know what? I got to be honest. That was a really trigger. I don't think the imagery of officers at a home of a young Black boy with his hands up is something we should be seeing.
No, I mean, it was really upsetting to see that. Like it broke my heart to watch because like her husband, her kids, like horrible. You know what I mean? Horrible.
If Bravo did one wrong bad thing, is put that like
they shouldn't have told us
really
that.
fucked up.
No,
like, the more I think about that, that fucking pisses me off. We have a race issue here. We have a violence against Black people at the hands of people in power here. Right. And Bravo chooses to put that on their show.
Yeah, that was in poor taste.
Just use your brain. Or hire people of color.
Yeah. So then, you know, the women are discussing it, which is where Mary does the flip. So they finally sit down, they pick their rooms. Of course, Mary's not pleased with her room. It's like a beautiful house. Like, Mary, go back to your closet. You should not be on the show.
Go
back to your mannequins, talk to them, be friends with them. Like, we don't care about you. Like nothing. She brings nothing except her cult, which maybe we'll be into having her then. So the women sit down and Meredith reveals more, right? So like she's, you know, everyone's kind of like, well, what do you think? What do you think? And Meredith's like, well, how does everyone feel? And she's like, I'm not, and that's when Mary's like, she's a bad person. She's this. Where before she was like, I'm heartbroken, it happened. You know, now she's like, I never trusted her. She's bad. She's this, she's evil.
Mary's just a liar. And
Mary's covering her own tracks because she's a cult leader.
They really, like, Bravo really just, come on. We need some representation that, like, isn't whack.
Right.
Like, we need better representation.
Yeah.
You can't just pick the minorities to be the lunatics on the show. We get Jenny now, and Jenny has like issues via TikTok rumor, but like, y'all,
her husband wants a sister wife.
Can't we have? Do we not?
But I mean, it wouldn't be interesting if we didn't have that.
Yeah, but why can't
the white people have that?
Like, you know, the thing is, like, they have. Where's our Heather Gay? Where's our, you know, Whitney?
Well, in New York.
Yeah, but New York's done.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know.
Nobody's like, Ebony's not coming back. And also, like, it was the wrong show for Ebony.
Yeah, it's the wrong show for Ebony. Maybe she'll come back with a new cast.
Yeah, they need a new cast, but they need to, like, you know, the reboot of Sex and the City. It literally has huge characters and they all have character arcs and they're people of color or LGBTQIA+.
Right.
Recast it that way.
Anyway, back to it.
Sorry.
So Meredith reveals that she hadn't trusted Jen for a long time. She not only felt like there were a lot of red flags, with her business and what have you. But then when she was in New York with her family, she received a phone call. She had like 8 missed phone calls from Jen. And she calls her back and she's like, oh, sorry, I was calling to see if I could get into your store to shop. Your manager's there. She opened up the store and let me in. She got in, it's fine. So then she calls the manager and she's like, so did she buy stuff? And she's like, yeah, she bought a few $100s worth of stuff. But here's the issue. One of her assistants picked up a green clutch and took it, and now it's missing. So Meredith texted Jen and was like, hey, my manager, or she made the manager text Jen and say, hey, there was a clutch that went missing. Was it accidentally taken, or are you borrowing it and bringing it back? And I guess the assistant brought it back the next day, but Jen didn't fire them.
That was shady.
Right. And then there was something else that happened that was shady as well. But basically, Meredith sort of reveals that like she was piecing all these weird things together. And, she wasn't surprised when all of this went down. And nobody else knows what to say. Now, in next week's episode, Meredith says she hired a private investigator. Could it be for Jen? Yes. Could it be for her husband? Yes. We don't know.
I mean, that was these women are like,
no. Jen is in big trouble, basically.
The thing about it though is like, this is the stuff of Melrose Place, Dynasty, like, all Dallas, all those like slappy soap operas where every writer is fired every other week and they have new writers and new like plot points. It's like, yeah, slow down. Like we're watching some shows and we're like, oh God, this is boring. But okay, you took the note, but like maybe you took it a little too far.
I love it though.
I
love it. So for all those people that knock reality, like, don't watch Dallas, watch real life. This is happening.
You couldn't write this. No. You did a great recap.
Oh, thanks. Even without my notes.
I mean, you always do a great job. You're amazing.
So
well, you know what? We love you.
Yes.
Thank you so much for taking your time out of your day to watch us. I'm Vang.
Follow us. Follow us.
Oh my gosh. I did that again. Yeah. Follow us on Instagram at Reality Hate F, on TikTok at Reality Hate F. TikTok, we're being followed by newly married and ever fabulous and always beautiful Paris Hilton.
Yes.
She is sliving and slaying, but she's also following us. So why aren't you?
Yeah.
Okay. Why aren't you? Right?
Yeah.
Like, we love her. So also, you can like stalk me, or you can like ask me on a date and whisk me away somewhere. And
yes. Do it on our Facebook. Do it on our YouTube. But
do it in my face. That's stupid. I'm Vank.
I'm Jaya.
Good night.
Woohoo! Woohoo! Woohoo!
Okay. Start.
Blackwater. We like it.
So good.
Quenches that thirst.
So good.